Here you leave today and enter the world of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy. These are the words that welcome you to Disneyland as you go under the Main Street train station. But, commonly known as the happiest place on earth, you may be surprised to find out that opening day was far from happy. Today, in my speech, I'm going to go over the opening day of Disneyland and how it came to be. Before there was Disneyland, though, there was 160 acres of orange groves in Anaheim, California. Construction began about a year before Disneyland's opening, and from the very beginning, Walt Disney was very involved in everything. According to a video from Time in 2015 by Lily Rothman, Walt was like a proud father as construction happened. He was on site daily, making sure everything was going according to plan and giving criticism and feedback where needed. With all of this involvement, though, 6 weeks before, Disneyland was not ready for opening. The entrance had not been landscaped. Main Street was not paved yet. The castle was unfinished, and while the Jungle Cruise boats were working, the animals were not there yet. So at this point, the construction crew tripled, and by the time Disneyland opened, Walt had spent $17 million to build Disneyland. July 17th, 1955, Disneyland finally opened. ABC was there to broadcast it, and it was to be the biggest and most ambitious live broadcast ever. About 70 million people tuned in when the U.S. was at a population of about 165 million. Everything looked perfect on camera. However, according to an article in the Madera Tribune in 1955 by Eileen Mosby, Disneyland was a confused mess. The construction crew had been there as late as 3 a.m. the night before, and the park was only about 3/4 of the way done. The asphalt had just been laid on Disneyland, so although it was dry enough for normal weather, the weather on opening day was over 100 degrees. So it turned into tar, and women wearing heels got their shoes stuck in the tar. One cameraman even said that if you stood still long enough, you would get painted over because they thought you were just a prop in Disneyland. The elephant for the Jungle Cruise was sinking into the banks of the river, and Peter Pan's flight and Dumbo were not working. There was also a plumbing strike when Disneyland opened, which made Walt have to choose between running toilets and running water fountains. He chose toilets because you can have people buy sodas to drink, but you can't have them going to the bathroom in the street. There was also a big counterfeit problem with tickets. Walt Disney invited 15,000 people to the opening day of Disneyland, but due to these counterfeit tickets, 28,154 people came. Because of this, there was also a shortage of food, as they only accounted for about 15,000 people on opening day. This day is also, because of all of this day is referred to as Black Sunday. But despite all of this, there were attractions that were running, such as the Mark Twain Riverboat, the Disneyland passenger train, Jungle Cruise, King Arthur's Carousel, Mad Tea Party, Autopia, Penny Arcade, and Snow White's Scary Adventure. Despite all of this, this did not dissuade people from coming to Disneyland. But after 7 weeks of opening, 1 million people had already visited. And according to an article called Walt Disney by Paul Davies, published in 2016, before Disneyland amusement parks were either tawdry or twee, which means they were just small and kind of not that impressive. No. Walt assumed that the average amount people would spend per trip was about $2, because the first tickets for children were 50 cents each, and for adults it was $1. And then you had to buy tickets like these ones and like this one I have here to get onto attractions. They're the A, B, C, D, and E tickets. And the A tickets were for the cheapest attractions, and the E tickets were for the biggest attractions. So they still use this knowledge today, this terminology today, even though we don't have these tickets. So the bigger attractions like Space Mountain or Big Thunder Mountain are commonly referred to as e-ticket attractions because they are the larger attractions, and attractions such as the carriage that goes down Main Street are A-ticket attractions because they are the smaller attractions. So, to conclude, Disneyland was not the happiest place on earth when it first opened. However, with lots of work, we still have it almost 62 years later, and if anything that we can learn, it's from a Walt Disney quote, "If you can dream it, you can do it."